In this video, I'm going to talk something about serverless architecture. So basically, this is a block diagram of one serverless architecture where our program is calling to API gateway, and through API gateway, Lambda function is invoked, and we can run our web application in this way. Now, to understand this diagram better, I have something here. So basically, what is serverless? Serverless is the native architecture of the cloud that enables you to shift more of your operational responsibilities to cloud vendor, increasing your agility and innovation. Serverless allows you to build and run applications and services without thinking about servers. It eliminates the infrastructure management tasks such as server or cluster provisioning, patching, operating system maintenance, and capacity provisioning. You can build them for nearly any type of application or backend service, and everything required to run and scale your application with high availability is handled for you. So basically what serverless means is you can deploy your application to the cloud, and you can run your application without any servers. So it doesn't mean that there will be no server. There will server, of course, server, but you don't have to provision it, or you don't have to manage it. Everything will be taken care by cloud vendor like Google or AWS or Microsoft Azure, whatever. So now, why we have to why serverless? Why serverless is good? I have written some points here. Because no server management is necessary, so you don't have to worry about server management. You don't have to provision any server or scale it or whatever. And simplified backend code, that means it's called function as a service. So whenever you want to run some code, you can run it without server. So this is a function as a infrastructure service. Now, and another point is serverless architecture are scalable, and with technologies that automatically scale from zero to peak demands, you can adapt to customer needs faster than ever. So if your application getting lots of traffic, then you can the application is scaled automatically. You don't have to worry about scaling things. And another benefit is quick deployments and updates are possible. So when you make change in your code, you can quickly deploy and you can update your application very quickly. Serverless computing is generally very cost effective. It significantly reduces server cost around 70 to 90%. That's a lot, because you don't pay for idle. That means without serverless architecture, what happens is you create you deploy your application in a server, then the server is running. Server has to run all the time, 24/7, because you don't know when the user's gonna use the server, so the server has to be on every time. But with serverless computing, you don't pay for the idle time. That means whenever your application is being used, then you pay just for that. So with a pay for value billing model, you never pay for over provisioning, and your resources utilization is optimized on your behalf. It eliminates server maintenance, so you don't have to worry about server maintenance as well. By eliminating operational overhead, your team can release quickly, get feedback, and iterate to get to market faster. And the last point is build better application easily. Serverless applications have built-in service integration, so you can focus on building your application instead of configuring it. And there are some drawbacks of serverless as well. For example, serverless functions mean you will be dealing with cold start. That means for the first time when you access the application, it has to start from the it is known as cold start, because the server hasn't start at first. So for the first time it will start, but it's very quick, around 500 millisecond, I think, to cold start. So you don't have, it's not a big deal. And another drawback is heavier reliance on your vendor ecosystem. For example, if your cloud provider uh, has a Node.js 12 and there is an update in Node.js, then you are still using Node.js 12, not 14. So that is one drawback. And a lot of developers don't know about what serverless is, and even if they do, it's hazy enough concept that applicants have a hard time imagining what their job would entail. So a little bit, there will be a little bit problem for developers as well. But anyway, in this video, I will show you how to build one serverless application using ASP.NET Core, and I'm gonna deploy it to cloud, AWS. And now, before I do that, let me explain something. There is a thing called AWS Lambda. Now, this is AWS Lambda is function as a service, which is provided by Amazon Web Service. And now, what is it? It is AWS Lambda lets you run code without provisioning or managing servers. You pay only for the compute time you consume. There is no charge when your code is not running. With Lambda, you can run code for virtually any type of application or backend service, all with zero administration. Just upload your code and Lambda takes care of everything required to run and scale your code with high availability. So if you have some code, you can just upload it to Lambda, and then you don't have to worry about managing server or running server, whatever. You can run that code whenever you like. And to run this Lambda code, you need API gateway. Now, what is API gateway? API gateway acts as a front door for application to access data, business logic, or functionality from your backend services. Using API gateway, you can create RESTful APIs and WebSockets API that enable real-time two-way communication application. API gateway supports containerized and serverless workload as well as web application. So these are the theories that we're gonna implement in our today in this video. So I'm going to build one ASP.NET Core serverless application using Visual Studio 2019, and to do that, I also need one extension of Visual Studio, which is known as AWS Toolkit. So let's start Visual Studio, and let's create a project. Okay, I'm just gonna pause for some time because it may be it's gonna be a little bit slow. Okay, file, new project. So let's choose a project, AWS Serverless Application, and click on next. Okay, I'm gonna write a project name, demo web app serverless. After that, create, and let's wait for some time, and you will be presented with this dialog box where you can choose a template. We have empty serverless application, container image, a core web API, web app, lots of things. So I'm gonna choose this one, ASP.NET Core Web App, and click on finish. Now it will, my project will be created in a bit. Project is creating now. Project has been created. So let's view our project in Solution Explorer. Okay, we have typical .NET Core MVC application installed. Not MVC actually. We don't have controller here, just a normal one. Okay, so now actually I don't need to do anything with this. I just can straight away deploy this to cloud. But before doing that, let's check something, some files. Here is our Lambda entry point. So this is our main Lambda function. It's just calling builder.use startup. So startup file, startup function, and here everything, all the codes are pre-written. It's due to it's by template. So we have another file called serverless template, which is required for the deployment, and these are the resources that will be created on cloud. So I don't have to write anything here, everything is automatically written. And this is our endpoint API gateway URL, which will be deployed. So basically that's it. Now I just need to deploy it to our cloud server, cloud service. But before doing that, let's run this website in the localhost. So to do that, let's just go to debug menu and start without debugging. Let's wait. Congratulations, your ASP.NET Core Web application is now serverless. So that's it. I have successfully built a serverless ASP.NET Core application. Now, one thing remaining to do, that is to deploy this website in the cloud. As you can see here, we are accessing this website from the local host. So I'm gonna deploy it to cloud, AWS. So to do that, you need AWS account, and you have to have this extension as well, AWS Explorer, where you can view all your resources from your AWS account, like DynamoDB or any servers like EC2 instances, database, any database. If you have any database, then you can manage it from Visual Studio as well. So to deploy this website to AWS, all I need to do is go to Solution Explorer and right click on this project. Then there will be a menu called Deploy it to AWS Lambda. Then you have to click on it. Okay, so yeah, there are two options here. Actually, three publishing options: publish to AWS Elastic Beanstalk, and publish to AWS Lambda. So I'm gonna choose this one, publish to AWS Lambda. And all I need to do is to wait. Okay, so I need to choose account profile, so that's fine. Region North Virginia. Stack name, let's give one stack name like demo stack or whatever. And now S3 bucket, you can create new bucket or just use the existing one. So I'm gonna use the existing one and just click on this publish button. Okay, seems like it is successful. So now the status is in create in progress. Create complete. Okay, I'm getting this URL, which is the URL of our API gateway. So if I click on this one, it should take me to our website. Okay, it's working now. So I have just deployed one serverless ASP.NET Core web application onto the cloud. And if I go to my cloud service website, I can view the resources as well. Okay, now I can just close this Visual Studio because it is taking too much memory. So I'm just gonna close this Visual Studio. That's it done. Okay, now let's head over to API Gateway. Okay. Okay, I can see my API gateway here, demo stack. Let's go to resources. And you can see here method request. It is redirected to Lambda proxy, and through the Lambda proxy, Lambda function is executed, which in turn call this internal ASP.NET library, and we are getting our website. So let's go to Lambda function as well. Let's search for Lambda. Lambda run code without thinking about servers. Okay, here is our Lambda function. And it has a trigger, API gateway. So this API gateway is calling our Lambda function, and it will in turn invoke this Lambda function. The Lambda function will invoke this ASP.NET runtime, and we are getting our website. So this is the URL. If I click on it, and stages, let's click on one stage, invoke URL. So this is the URL of our website. Now after doing all this, then I can just get one custom domain instead of this garbage URL. I can have nice domain like ivan.com or something, and then just host this website on it. So that's it for today. I'm a bit tired, so I'm gonna stop this video now. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.